Chairman Schiff, what have you been told by the Department of Justice regarding the seizure of your personal data? And is it your view that this was something that is prohibited by DOJ rules, or do you believe that the action is criminal in some way?
Well, the short answer is I don't know the circumstances yet. I did receive a call from the Attorney General expressing regret about what happened and promising to have the Inspector General look into it. And I have every confidence in the Inspector General. But there's a lot I really don't know about the circumstances. I can tell you that there were about a dozen of us, members and staff of the House Intelligence Committee, that received notices from Apple that the Justice Department years ago had requested some of our records. Now, why they were requested, whether this was focused just on Democrats and whether this was the Justice Department acting on Donald Trump saying, go after my enemies, is unclear. But we certainly hope the department will get to the bottom of it, as well as Congress.
You've said that Attorney General Merrick Garland should clean house. We know that the House Judiciary Committee is moving forward with an investigation. Is that enough, or should there be more?
Well, what I've encouraged the Attorney General to do, and I think we have to do the same in Congress, is not just look at how our committee was impacted or how members of the press were impacted, and the impacts on the press were very significant too. They had the same requests for information, the same gag orders that the Justice Department went to court to prohibit press organizations from finding out that they were the subjects of these subpoenas. It goes well beyond that. It goes to the president weighing in specific cases like that involving Roger Stone, one of his advisors who lied and was convicted of lying to our committee. And then the president intervened to get him a lighter sentence and ultimately to make the case go away. Similarly, in the case of Mike Flynn, another close advisor of the president, the former national security advisor, and the president intervened and the attorney general dismissed the case against him. These are even more serious abuses. And so I think we have to look at all of the politicization of the department in the last 4 years and make sure that we take strong corrective action.
Some Republicans, including the Senate Minority Whip John Thune, agree with you that the seizure needs to be investigated. But Trump loyalists, like your colleague on the Intelligence Committee, Elise Stefanik, the House GOP conference chair, specifically accuses you of leaking and said this: there have been illegal leaks from members of Congress. That's a national security risk. That is a federal crime. It's very serious, and we want to make sure that the Department of Justice is able to pursue any type of criminal illegal leaks. What's your response to the Republican conference chair?
Well, look, Elise Stefanik got that position by being willing to lie for the former president and carry the big lie about the election. She's apparently willing to carry smaller lies for him as well. And look, I respect Liz Cheney. She had that position before Elise Stefanik. She said, I'm not willing to propagate those falsehoods. So she lost her position. And that's where the GOP is right now. They are tied to the former president, and they will carry whatever falsehoods he carries.
Only a few seconds left, but the Obama administration went after leakers as well. According to the Associated Press, it used the 1917 Espionage Act to prosecute more people under that law for leaking sensitive information to the public than all previous administrations combined. So the question is the Trump leak investigation an outlier or just part of a trend?
Well, I think it's certainly part an increase in leak prosecutions. And look, I take the holding of classified information very seriously. It's a key part of my responsibility. And I have no problem with prosecuting people who are illegally leaking classified information. But I do have a problem with essentially using the Justice Department to go after the president's enemies. And I also have a problem with the expansive use of the department's powers to go after press organizations and try to chill speech, which is what the former president was trying to do.
Chairman Schiff, thank you very much for your time, sir.